Hey guys, welcome to another video. My name is Zoe and today I'm going to be doing the end of the year book tag. So I have not actually been tagged in this video because I am a new channel, and also I feel like not very many people have done this video yet this year, but I love watching this tag every year from other booktubers, and I think tag videos are just a really fun thing to do and watch. So I just wanted to participate in it and talk about my end of the year reading goals. So without further ado, let's just get into the questions. So the first question is, are there any books that you started this year that you still need to finish? So I actually have just a boring answer for this question. It's a no. I am the type of person that likes to read books quickly, and if it takes me more than like a couple weeks to read, I just kind of get bored and frustrated. So I am not in the middle of any books that I've been reading for a long time. There's nothing that I need to finish that I've been reading, for more than a couple days. So no. There are some series that I really wanted to read this year, or that I wanted to finish this year. I am on the 5th book in the Harry Potter series, but I don't see myself finishing that whole series because those are thick books, and I have a lot of other books that I want to read before the end of the year, so that's probably going to be saved for 2023. And I also wanted to finish the Inheritance Game series and the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I read the first book in both of those series last year in 2021, and I really loved them. And I have the other books in both series, but I just haven't gotten around to finishing them. So I feel like those are realistic goals, to finish one or the other, and I would be really happy if I could finish just one of those series. And if we're being real, it would probably be the Inheritance Game series. The next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? This question, I feel like I had a lot of potential answers for, because there are a lot of autumnal fall books that I have that I've been wanting to read, but I did settle on 3 books. I could not just pick one. They aren't necessarily fall books, but they do give me that vibe. So the first book is A History of Wild Places by Shea Ernshaw. I got this book from Book of the Month last December, and I started it and I was really enjoying it, but I ended up putting it down, never getting back to it, and I would love to read it this year. I could see myself picking this up really soon because I feel like it is a good transition book. I don't know honestly too much about the plot, but I do know that the little bit that I read last year was very seasonal. It felt very fall transitioning into winter, which is perfect for this question. So this is one that instantly came to mind. The next book that came to mind is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I feel like this is one that everybody's read and I just haven't gotten around to because I've been saving it for the perfect time. I actually got this in January, but I just wanted it to feel right when I read it, and I really feel like fall transitioning into winter is the right time. Like, this to me, for some reason, screams November. This just feels like a November book, so I think it would be perfect for the transition of the seasons. And the third book that came to mind, kind of connecting to the last question, is The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I really feel like the entire Inheritance Game series is the perfect transition series. It just feels perfect for November as you transition between the seasons, and this is the next one in the series that I need to read, so this is the one that came to mind. Again, I've heard nothing but good things about this series, and I loved the first book, so I'd love to be able to get to this one as a transition book this month. The next question is there a new release that you're still waiting for this year? The answer is no, because all of my anticipated releases already came out, with the final one being The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. This just came out this past week, and I just got it in the mail a couple days ago, just started it, and I'm loving it so far. There's just something about Lynn Painter that I just love. She's the author of Better Than the Movies. This was a very highly anticipated release for me, but no, at this point, there are no more releases that I'm waiting for. There were a lot of books that I was very highly anticipating this year, and I've been very happy to see all those come out and be able to read a lot of them. But as far as the rest of the year goes, there are no books that I can think of that I'm still waiting on. Okay, next question is, what are 3 books that you want to read before the end of this year? So At the beginning of 2022, I made a TBR on my Goodreads of 65 books that I wanted to read in 2022. Don't ask me why 65. I know that's like a really random number. I just put all the books that I wanted to read into a list, and that was the number that I came out with. I did not do a good job of sticking to that list. We are in November and I've only read a handful of the books on that list. I don't know if it's just because I got interested in other books, or if I made new releases more of a priority or what, but I never got around to a lot of those. But with that being said, there are still a few books on that list that I really want to get to. So here are the 3 books. The first book, I don't even know how I haven't read this yet, okay? It is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Everybody and their mother has read this book, right? I have had this book for over a year and it's just been sitting on my shelf collecting dust. Why have I not read this book? I don't know, because I've heard nothing but good things about this book and it sounds like something that I would love. Like, it sounds like my type of book. And yet every time I go to start a new book and I try to decide what to read, I look at it and just go, maybe next time. I just never pick it up and I don't know why, but I'm really hoping to pick it up before 2022 is over because I really want to read this and understand the hype. I know a lot of books can be hyped up and then you read it and you're like, oh, that wasn't that good. Why is it so popular? I don't think that's going to be the case with this book. I really think I'm going to love this book. So I just really want to read it before the end of the year. The next book is a sequel. It is one that I'm kind of kicking myself that I haven't read yet, because it's one that I was really, really excited for when it was released last year, and that is Here's to Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. This, as I said, is a sequel, and I read the first one, What If It's Us, when it came out, and I loved it. I've read that book multiple times. I'm such a big fan of it, and a big fan of Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera in general. So when I heard this book was coming out, I got really excited. I asked for it for Christmas. I got the signed first edition. I love this book. I love this book. It's so pretty, but I haven't read it because honestly, I think I'm afraid to. I think I'm scared of finishing the duology because I love Ben and Arthur so much and I don't want their story to end. So I've just been afraid to pick it up, but I really, really do want to read it before the end of the year. I think I'm just gonna love it, and I think it's time that I finally get around to it. So this is definitely in the top 3 books for me to read before the year is over. And finally, the third book is one that I actually just got. It is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I just got this from my library book sale for $2. It is like in brand new, perfect condition. This book, I know, wasn't out the entire year. It came out in May, I think, but it was one that I did have on my list at the beginning of the year because I was very interested in it. And now that I have it, I feel like I have no excuse not to read it. So this is definitely one in my top 3. I've been hearing people talk about it online a lot and they've been saying how much they love it. I've never read an Abby Jimenez book, but I really want to. I've heard really great things about her writing, and this is one that I would love to get to before the year is over. So those are my 3 books that I want to get to before the end of 2022. The next question is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of 2022? This question I'm really excited to talk about because the short answer is no, but it gives me an excuse to talk about a book that I really, really love, and that is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This book, it can't be topped. The reason that I say no to this question is because of this book alone. I love this book. Normally when people say, what was your favorite book of the year? I can never choose one. This, hands down, was my favorite book of the year. And the weird part was I did not even expect to like it. I picked this book up because I thought the cover was pretty, okay? It was so good. I read it on Libby, actually, and I loved it so much that I immediately had to go out and get my own copy. And it actually just became the book of the year for book of the month. And it's so deserving. This book is so wonderful. I'm not going to talk about it a lot because I want to go into more detail when I do my end of the year wrap up video. But this book was the book that shocked me and became my favorite book of 2022. So the answer is no, there's not one that could still shock me because this one did the shocking already. And I honestly would recommend that everybody read this book. It's just so wonderful. Okay, and now we get into the last question, and that is, have you started making reading plans for 2023? I would say yes, because I've already started looking into releases for 2023 and getting really excited about some. I actually have a list on my Goodreads of my books that I'm excited for next year. Some of them are very basic, like everybody's excited for Happy Place by Emily Henry, of course, but there are others that I'm also very excited for. I have also kind of started just putting together a general TBR for next year, but I don't know how much I will stick to it after seeing how I didn't stick to this year's TBR, and things could always change within the next month. But yeah, I've kind of started doing reading goals and reading plans for next year. I also am very soon going to be starting my reading journal for next year because I kind of want to get it all kind of started and mapped out. Normally I do a very like bare bones reading journal where I just kind of write, my rating and my review and that's it. But I want to make it kind of cute this year, kind of like Haley Pham and Katie is Reading. They both have such cute reading journals. So that is my plan for 2023. Although I'm not the most crafty artistic person, so we will see how that goes. But that is what I'm hoping to do for 2023. So yeah, I have definitely started reading plans for the next year. So those are all the questions, and I was really excited to talk about all of them because we are only a month away from 2023, basically. Thanksgiving is this week, so we are in the home stretch. We are getting upon the official holiday season as Thanksgiving comes, and then it's Christmas, and then New Year's, and it's blowing my mind. I cannot believe that this year is already over. I feel like it was just February. It is just so crazy to me. I cannot wrap my head around the fact that we are in the end of November already. So I just kind of wanted to talk about these books and yeah, have this to look back on in the future. So if you enjoy this or had any thoughts about any of the books that I talked about, I would love to hear what you have to say. I would also love to connect with people on my Bookstagram, so I will link that down below. So that is the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm really hoping other people do this video because I love to hear other people's reading plans and reading goals and just kind of how their year went overall. So yeah, I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.